Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Brainy Boomer Lecture Series. We're so very happy that you've all joined us today. We would first like to begin by acknowledging that the McGill University Research Center for Studies in Aging is located and our work is done on unceded Indigenous lands. The Kanien'kehá:ka Nation is recognized as the custodians of the lands and waters on which we gathered today. Tiohtià:ke, commonly known as Montreal, is historically known as a gathering place for many Indigenous peoples. Today, it is home to a diverse population of Indigenous and other peoples. We respect the continued connections with the past, present, and future, and our ongoing relationships with Indigenous and other peoples we serve within the Montreal community. Today's event is in collaboration with the Italian Canadian Community Services of Quebec. In 2007, the McGill University Research Center for Studies in Aging, or the MCSAGE Education Committee, started the Brainy Boomer Lecture Series in order to suggest practical steps to both improve and maintain brain health, as well as to promote healthy lifestyle choices amongst the most populous generation in history. The MCSAGE Education Committee, which was founded in 1996, has three main objectives: identifying education needs of healthcare providers, seniors, caregivers, and the public, and to develop responses to meet some of their needs, to enhance a positive image of the aging process by addressing stereotypes and myths about aging, and finally, the dissemination of research on aging. Our presenters for today are Margarita and Marzi. Margarita received a Bachelor of Science in Human Nutrition from Universidad San Francisco de Quito in Ecuador, which is where she was born and raised. Her undergraduate education focused on clinical and community nutrition, which led her to pursue a master's in dietetics at McGill University. Marzi is currently in her third year of undergrad as a dietetic student in McGill University as well, and she is very passionate about nutrition and its impact on different aspects of our health. Before continuing, we would just like to remind you to please mute your microphone on Zoom. And if you have any questions, you can put them down in the chat box, or you could wait until the end of the event to ask them. And now I'd like to invite Marzi and Margarita to start their presentation, Tips and Tricks for All-Day Energy.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So thank you for attending our workshop again. My name is Marzi, and I'm here with my teammate Margarita.
Hello again, everyone.
So we're here today to talk about some tips and tricks for all-day energy. So even though our energy level goes down as we age and even depending on the season, but there are still a lot of tricks that we can do to stay energized. Now, I would like to ask you, what do you do when you have an energy slump? Does anyone want to share any strategies that they have?
Coffee.
Nice. Yeah. Nap. Yes.
Nap.
Perfect. Yeah.
Go for a walk. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Drinking coffee.
Yeah. I dance in my office. Wow. Nice. Nice. That's great. Okay, well, those are all great things. Thank you. So in today's workshop, we will be talking about how to have more energy in a day. Now we will start by talking about eating for more energy, and then by hydration, and then some physical and mental health tips for energy, and finally sleep. So Margarita will start us off with the eating part of today's workshop.
Okay, thank you for the introduction, Marcy. So as you know, there are several changes that occur in our body as we age that affect our nutrition, which in turn can impact on energy levels. So it becomes more important to make every bite count by creating and choosing nutrient-dense and high-protein meals and snacks. But how can we do this? So there are 4 strategies that we will briefly discuss today. So we have eating a healthy, balanced diet, eating small, frequent meals, eating high-protein foods at each meal, and listening to our hunger and fullness cues. So I know that you have heard about Canada's food guide recommendations in previous workshops. So just as a quick reminder, to eat healthy, balanced meals, we should aim to make half of our plate vegetables and fruits, 1/4 of our plate whole grain foods, and the other 1/4 protein foods. And of course, make water our drink of choice. So since you already have a clear idea on how to balance your plate, could you please mention some of the benefits of doing this? Why do you want to have a healthy, balanced diet? Maybe because it gives you energy. Yeah, your body gets what you need. Yeah, it meets your dietary recommendations maybe. Yeah, you will feel better throughout the day. My brain works better. Yeah, excellent. Great idea. Yeah, so many things, right? About
Less hunger.
less hunger. Yes, thank you. So thank you for participating. So having a healthy, balanced diet can help us maintain our weight. It can boost immunity because we are providing our bodies with the nutrients that are needed to promote activity of immune cells and production of antibodies. It can also provide us with essential energy, as we discussed at the beginning. It can help us meet our dietary needs. It can help us maintain our health or to lower the risk of chronic diseases like heart disease and type 2 diabetes. And of course, it supports our brain health. So another strategy is to eat small, frequent meals. So try to eat something every 3 hours. Aim for 3 small meals with snacks in between every day instead of having 3 large meals. And having small, frequent meals can help you to have consistent levels of energy throughout the day. And it can be less overwhelming, specifically in those days when appetite is not good. And we will most likely feel overwhelmed by just looking at large portions of food in our plate. And in those days when you are not feeling very hungry in the morning, try to eat at least a small snack that contains protein. So another strategy is to include protein foods at each meal. And here it's very important that you ask yourself 2 things. First, with what meals are you eating most of your protein and what type of protein is it? And this is because the current evidence shows that protein quality and distribution of intake throughout the day can influence muscle protein synthesis. Because of this, it is important that we spread out our protein intake throughout the day and that we aim for an intake of 20 to 30 grams of protein at each meal, since intakes below these amounts had been shown to be insufficient to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. Also, it's important to mention that there is no additional benefits when you increase your intake over 30 grams of protein at one meal. So if, for example, dinner is the only meal time where you are eating enough protein or even more than 30 grams to try to compensate for that you didn't eat during the rest of your day, you might want to reconsider this and start including protein at each meal. And try to choose high quality protein foods such as eggs, meal, Greek yogurt, cheese, meat, poultry, and fish. But if you prefer or you choose plant-based protein foods such as legumes, try to maximize their quality by combining them with grains. For example, lentils plus rice. So I just suggested you to eat from 20 to 30 grams of protein to promote your muscle protein synthesis. However, if your dietitian or doctor have recommended you something different, maybe perhaps due to a health condition, please follow their recommendations. So now, how do you estimate how much protein you are eating at each meal? So you can learn how to use your hand to make an estimation. So for example, for meat and poultry, 1 pound will provide you with around 23 grams of protein. And then for fish, which is in the next picture, that will provide you with an approximate of 17 grams of protein. For legumes, 1 fist like this, or 3/4 of a cup, have around 12 grams of protein. For milk and fortified soy beverages, 1 fist again, have around 9 grams of protein. And then for a regular yogurt, again, 1/5 has around 9 grams of protein. But if you use Greek yogurt, that will be around 17 grams of protein. And then if you use your 2 thumbs, maybe to calculate how much protein it's contained in the cheese, that's around 12 grams of protein. And then if you have 1 large egg or 1 cup hand of nuts or seeds or 2 thumbs of peanut butter, that will provide you with around 7 grams of protein. So if you would like to estimate how much protein you are eating at each meal, you can always refer back to those numbers. So now let's do a small activity to apply what we just learned. So this is Mrs. L's breakfast. How could you add an extra 20 or 25 grams of protein? Applying what we just learned. Anyone has any idea? How could you add some protein to this breakfast? It's just a cup of black coffee and a toast. 1 egg, yes. Cheese, eggs, yogurt.
Yogurt.
Yeah, peanut butter. Yeah, those are great ideas. Yeah, maybe making a latte instead of the black coffee. Milk, yeah, you can add milk to your coffee or make a latte. Yeah, those are great ideas. So
add cheese to the egg.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for participating. So we came up with some simple solutions. So you can add 1 tablespoon of peanut butter that you could spread on the toast, 1 egg, and half a cup of Greek yogurt with fruits. And of course, if you can also use the regular yogurt, but to boost your protein intake, I highly recommend you to use the Greek yogurt because it has twice the amount of protein than a regular yogurt. So here, as you see, we went from 4 grams of protein to 26 grams of protein. And this is exactly what I was telling you about the Greek yogurt. As you can see, when we compare the protein content of the same amount, 3/4 of a cup of regular plain yogurt versus 2% plain Greek yogurt, the protein content is higher in the Greek yogurt, 16 grams versus 9 grams. So Marcy and I made this amazing frozen Greek yogurt bark with berries that you can eat as a snack or dessert, and it's the perfect recipe to give yourself an energy refresh this spring or during the summer. So to cover all these baking sheet that you see in the picture, we use 4 cups of Greek yogurt, 1/4 cup maple syrup, half a teaspoon vanilla extract, 2 cups of berry, and half cup of pecans. So now let's watch the video. And of course, don't forget to wash your hands and to wash your fruits before getting started. So in a bowl, you will combine the Greek yogurt, the maple syrup, and the vanilla. And you will whisk until it's well combined, until it's well mixed.
So for this recipe, as Margarita mentioned, we highly recommend using Greek yogurt because of the protein content, as well as because it has a thicker consistency compared to regular yogurt. But of course, if you prefer the regular yogurt, you can also use that. And you could also go for flavored yogurt if you would like, because that also turns out well. But just make sure that you reduce the maple syrup content because those yogurts already have some added sugar. And also, you can swap out the maple syrup for honey or any artificial sweetener that you like.
Mm-hmm. So
And here we see how like the consistency is changing as we're adding this, and it also smelled really good. It smelled like vanilla. So
yeah. And then you will line a baking sheet with wax paper and spread the mixture to an even thickness. And then you will top with your favorite berries. We use strawberries and blueberries. And we garnish with pecans, but please feel free to use your favorite fruits, nuts, as well as your favorite seeds. You can garnish with other nuts like walnuts, or you can use other fruits like bananas or blackberries.
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually. I think I would also add chocolate chip maybe, or some melted chocolate. That could also go well with it. I've never tried, but I mean, it should taste good.
Mhm. And you will freeze this for about 4 hours or until the bark is completely firm. And then once you make sure that it's completely firm, you will cut into pieces and you will serve.
So we really enjoyed making this recipe that day. We cut it into small pieces, but we ended up eating three of them each. So we suggest using your own like scales. Like if you want them to be smaller or bigger, you can go for that. And it's also a great recipe for when you have people over and for kids especially, because it tastes like ice cream, but it has a lot of protein and high source of fiber and a lot of vitamins because of the fruits that you add. So because you're making a lot of this, well, of course, you might have leftovers. So you want to make sure that you put it in airtight container, and you just want to freeze it for around 3 months. It should be fine, and you can just grab it and eat it whenever you feel like it, but it should be safe for 3 months in the freezer.
Yeah, so as you see, this recipe is a great snack due to its nutrient value. So one portion has 170 calories and 13 grams of protein. And the cost of one portion is $1.50. So we have talked quite a lot about protein. So you might be wondering, why is it so important as we age? So as we age, it's natural that we lose some muscle mass and also bone mass. So to help to preserve it as much as possible, it's important to eat protein at each meal, as we have been discussing, because this will help you to increase your strength so that you can stay active during the day, and will also help you to prevent falls. It will also help your body heal, because protein is a required nutrient to help build muscle mass and repair tissue, and will keep your immune system strong so that you can fight infections. So now, before moving on to our last strategy, I would like to ask you if you have ever eaten past the point of feeling completely full, or have you ever skipped a meal? And if yes, how did it make you feel? Always, okay. I think we have all skipped a meal or eating too much. Yes, and not good. You feel tired, you feel
Yeah.
too full, not great either way.
Yeah.
Maybe
And even
sleepy.
yeah, even like when you eat too much, you feel like, oh my God, I can't take it anymore. I can't even breathe anymore. It's
Yeah,
so much. Yeah, those
yeah.
feelings.
Overeat on holidays, definitely. I think we all do. So yeah, it's extremely important that we listen to our hunger and fullness cues. I know we have all eaten past the point of feeling completely full, especially during the holidays like Thanksgiving, but that's completely okay. However, for most of our days, we should try to listen to our body when it says, hey, I don't need more energy. I think that's enough. Or maybe I got too much. I don't need more. Please don't give me more food. Or when you feel tired, you should also listen to your body, because maybe it's time to eat. So if you need help, to pay attention to those hunger and fullness cues, you can use this hunger scale to ask yourself, how are you feeling? So as you see, this is a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 to 2 means starving, and 9 to 10 is painful and you feel very uncomfortable because you have eaten too much. So try to always eat to a level of 5 or 6, where you are comfortably full, but not too full, not too stuffed. And remember, the hunger and fullness is not just felt in your stomach. You can also pay attention to other signs that are extremely important, for example, to prevent a low in energy. So, for instance, some signs of hunger could be you are feeling tired, fatigue, you have a headache, you don't feel like doing anything. And signs of a fullness could be reduced desire to eat, you are not thinking about food anymore, or you feel more energized. So Marcy will send you the link if you want to have access to this hunger scale and to some questions that you can ask to yourself to help you understand your body signals better. So, so today we have discussed together some tips and tricks to stay energized through making every bite count. So to conclude this part of the presentation, I would like to mention other things that you could do to stay motivated and include all these tips into your daily life. So try to include cultural and traditional foods, choose a variety of foods and flavors, and don't forget to create a positive eating environment by eating with others, or maybe doing a video call with your family, friends, and your community. You can also make your eating area more attractive, or you can even turn on some background music. Finally, you can also make your meals more colorful and attractive.
So we decided to make a chicken quiche with Margarita, with some leftover chicken, and it was honestly delicious. So it was actually very easy to make, and it's a great source of protein. So all you need is a pre-made crust. You need shredded cooked chicken, shredded cheese, green onions, red bell pepper, eggs, milk, and salt and pepper. But it's also a very flexible recipe, so you could always change some ingredients and have substitutes for some of them. So before we start the video, I'm just gonna say that first you're gonna bring the pre-made pie crust to room temperature. We already did that, it's not in the video. And you will also preheat the oven to 375 degrees. So then you're gonna prick holes all around the bottom crust with a fork. And then you're gonna bake it for around 10 minutes until it's lightly golden. And then you're gonna remove it from the oven and lower the temperature for 350 degrees. And then you're gonna spread the chicken, cheese, bell pepper, and green onion in the bottom of the baked crust.
And here you can also substitute the chicken with your favorite meat, or you can even use ham.
Yeah, great. And then you're gonna whisk together eggs, milk, salt, and pepper. And then, oh, the veggies, no, they were not cooked. We just added them, they were all raw. So then you're adding the eggs and milk and salt and pepper, and you're gonna mix them. And you're gonna pour the mixture into the crust.
You can also replace the milk with cream. It's a pretty flexible recipe, and you can play around with the ingredients, to make it match your taste and even dietary needs.
Good, and then you're gonna cook for 45 to 50 minutes. You're gonna let it cool for around 15 minutes, and then you can slice it and serve it with any type of salad that you have on hand.
Yes, and another idea is that you can use cooked vegetable leftovers, for example, roasted vegetables. You can always add that to your quiche if you don't have fresh vegetables, as we did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then because you will have some leftovers, if you're alone, you can store the leftovers in the fridge for up to 4 days, or you can freeze them for up to 3 months. How you pre-cook the crust? Yeah, sure. So it was a pre-made crust. So we brought it to room temperature, and in the meantime, we preheated the oven to 375 degree, and then we pricked holes all around the bottom of the crust with a fork, and then we baked it for 10 minutes. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, you will also, if you want to like maybe remember this recipe, we will send you the handle, and the recipe and instructions are there too.
Yes, you will have access to all these because I didn't mention how much of each ingredient you need because it was long, but you're gonna have access to all of those. Okay, good. Perfect. So we can go to the next slide. Oh my God. Right. Good. Okay. So this is the nutrition facts table that we made for one portion. So we see that it's a great source of protein. It's 16 grams of protein. It also has some vitamins and minerals. So of course, like it will change depending on what you substitute or what you add in the quiche. It's very flexible. And the cost for one portion is around $2.66. So it's a pretty reasonable recipe to make. So now that we have a good idea about how to eat better, to have more energy, let's move on to other tips for all day energy. So one of these tips is to stay hydrated. So as you get older, your sense of thirst changes and you don't notice that you need a drink as easily as you used to do. So how you would know if you're not drinking enough water would be feeling thirsty, having dark yellow, strong smelling pee, feeling dizzy, or feeling tired. So dehydration can affect your energy level because it can slow down blood circulation and it will affect the flow of oxygen going to your brain. Now, it can also cause your heart to work harder to pump blood and oxygen all throughout your body. So all these energy that is being used in these different processes can make you feel tired, sluggish, or even less focused. Now we know that 60 to 70% of our bodies is water. So it's important to stay hydrated so that our body can function properly. So for example, hydration can help improve brain performance because research suggests that even 2% fluid loss can affect your memory, mood, concentration, and even reaction time. So staying hydrated can also help you have fewer headaches and have better sports performance. So now I told you all these, but you might be asking me, but how much water is enough? So the guidelines suggest having 6 to 8 glasses of water or fluid every day. This could include your morning coffee or tea, as well as milk, juice, etc. Any fluid that you're having. But also fruits and vegetables could help you get more hydrated because they also have some water in them. So to make sure that you're drinking enough water, you could have a glass of water first thing in the morning. You should always be carrying a water bottle, and you could also flavor your water so that it's more appealing. So to flavor your water, first you want to make sure that you wash your fruits and herbs beforehand, and then you can add some fruits like berries, lemon, cucumber, or even some fresh herbs like rosemary, mint, or basil to your water. And as you can see, like in the picture, it makes it very colorful and very appealing because just water alone may not be very interesting to, look at, but this is very appealing and you might enjoy it better. So we mentioned earlier that coffee also counts as your fluid intake, but coffee is a little tricky when it comes to controlling how much is okay. So Health Canada recommends no more than 3 cups of coffee per day. Now, I know that your morning coffee can give you a little boost of energy, but you can't really rely on caffeine for your source of energy throughout the day. Also, you want to limit your coffee intake in the afternoon because it stays in your system for up to 10 hours and it could disrupt your sleep later at night. So you don't want to drink coffee maybe later than 2 p.m., sorry, but it also depends on your body and how you tolerate it. So make sure that you check how like your body tolerates, and also if you're on any medication or if you have any health conditions, make sure that you ask your doctor for specific guidelines for you. So these are all general things that we're saying, but you always want to make sure that your body also can tolerate that much. So when we think about caffeine, we always think about coffee, but there are actually other items that also have caffeine in them. Maybe not as much as coffee, but still there are different sources of caffeine. So some of them could be black or green tea, soda, chocolate, and even energy drinks. So you also want to be mindful of those as well. So we mentioned that coffee can help boost short-term mental performance and provide energy spike, but it could also decrease energy afterwards. It could also give you headache, insomnia, too much urination, fast heartbeat, and even irritability. So that's why you should always, always, always make sure that the amount that you're drinking is enough for you or is not too much for you. So let's move on from what we can eat and drink for more energy to what we could do in terms of mental health and physical health. Now we know that stress is a big part of most of our lives, and it's very important to know how to control it. So I want to ask you, what stresses you or what makes you worried? Like I can go first. We're a student, like me and Margarita, and we were discussing this. For us as students, something that stresses us would be school, exams. Now, what about you? Does anyone want to share anything that stresses them? Too much to do? I just saw another question about the flavored water. Yeah, I think the other flavorings that you can buy, you should always check the like calories or what they have in them actually, because uh, there are very different types, so you want to make sure that it matches what you are supposed to be having. And you can always ask your dietitian. You can always yeah. Oh my God, so many messages. So life, COVID, other people's expectations,
Use
the
to-do
news, to-do
list,
list,
deadlines.
self-imposed, exactly, yes, deadlines, yeah. Yeah. Those are all great things that you mentioned. Good. So stress is not always bad, but we also have good stress, but we also have distress, which is bad stress. Now, good stress is short term, it inspires you and motivates you, focuses your energy, and enhances your performance. But bad stress is the kind that wears you out, leaves you jittery, and is harmful to your health. So it could cause poor concentration, anxiety, confusion, and it will be harmful for your health. So having a little bit of stress is good as long as you can manage, you can control it, but you should be able to control it so that it doesn't hurt you at the end. Now, before we move on, I would like to ask you, how do you cope with stress? Does anyone have any strategies that they want to share? Anything they do when they're stressed or worried? Also makes you feel very tired. Exactly. Yes. Yes. So any exercises, deep breathe, yeah, deep breaths, a drink, go for a walk, yeah, Tai Chi, going for a walk, yeah, great ideas. Music, yeah, I'm interested, yeah, exactly. Good, those are all great things. So there are some different techniques, as we can already see, meditate, yeah. So there are different things that we each do. Oh my God, each person does. And they're different, but as long as it works for us, it works. So some other tips are yoga, tai chi, as someone mentioned, breathing, as you mentioned, meditation, yes, getting a massage, walking, talking to people, journaling, even some hobbies. Some people like to paint or play music, different things. It could be anything, and there are definitely much more than the list that we just mentioned. So these are all different things that could help people with their stress. Now, I wanted to do a small activity with you. So we know that the least we could do is to breathe when we're nervous or when we have stress. But sometimes we forget to even do that, or we don't breathe properly. That's why our brain doesn't get enough oxygen to make us calm or relax us. So this is a very small activity that we can do together right now. It's you breathe for 4 seconds, you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, and then you just continue like this square here. So we can start together here. I'm gonna count the seconds, like the 4 seconds. I'm gonna count it for you. So you want to get comfortable. You can lean back, you can close your eyes or have your eyes open, whichever makes you more comfortable. Now I want you to breathe in through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, feeling the air enter your lungs. Now hold the breath for 1, 2, 3, 4, and slowly exhale through your mouth for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, that's all we have for this activity, but if you were to do that on your own, I would suggest repeating these steps over and over until you feel relaxed. Now, I know we only did it once. It's not very, it's not too much that we did, but already by doing it once, how did it make you feel? Or do you think you should do it at least 2, 3 times to feel more relaxed? What are your thoughts? No thoughts? I like the hold for 4 seconds. Okay, 3, 4 times for the breathing. Yes, maybe 5 times. I guess it depends how stressed you are. Exactly. Yeah, 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 for sure. It depends on how stressed you are. And of course, by just doing this once, we may not really be seeing that much results. Yeah, definitely. So when you repeat it more, it helps more because, yeah. Yeah, okay, good. So now that we know that moving and some exercises can help with stress, and of course with your energy level, let's dig deeper into having more movements. So how much physical activity is enough? Now, based on the Canadian guidelines, you want to have around 150 minutes or like 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, sorry, of physical activity per week. Now, this could include walking, biking, jogging, etc. Now, the guidelines also suggest having muscle strengthening activities twice a week, such as climbing stairs, digging in the garden, or lifting weights if possible. And lastly, having some physical activity that challenges balance, like single leg lift, is also helpful, which is the picture we see here. But also keep in mind that you should only go as far as you can tolerate and to listen to your body and your doctor, of course, if they recommend you to not do certain activities. So you don't want to push yourself too much either. Now you might be thinking, well, okay, you're telling me all these, but how does that even help me? Why would I care? So physical activity is important because, as we mentioned, it helps you reduce your stress because it produces endorphin, which is the feel-good hormone. Now, it also helps with your physical health, like muscles and bones. Also, you can join group activities, and that helps with your social engagement and sense of connectivity. It also helps prevent some diseases like heart disease and diabetes. Yeah, someone says stretching exercises are also good. Exactly, yes, yes, definitely. They're really good too. So That brings me, actually, your question brings me to my question. Does anyone have any strategies to get moving throughout the day or move more throughout the day? A lot of walking, okay. Get up every hour. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so we can housework, join Zoom classes, set aside a yeah. Yeah, exactly. Good, good. So yoga classes, wear Fitbit watch. It reminds me how many steps I need to do. Exactly. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yes. Okay, good, good. All great things. Thank you. Thank you so much for participating. So some more tips for you to be more active is finding group activities or classes to join with your friends or to find more friends in. Now remember that every minute counts. So even if you can only do 5 minutes of physical activity in a day, that's perfect. That's fine. You can just start with that. It's okay. And you can, of course, increase it by a few minutes every time. So you can also walk to your destinations if you can, like if they're close by. And you can take the stairs whenever you can. You could also carry your groceries home. That is also physical activity. But again, remember to listen to your body and go slowly as you can tolerate. You don't want to start too big. You can start slow and increase it by a few minutes every time. Now, we've already talked about what you can eat, drink, or do throughout the day. Now, as the day ends, you want to sleep. And even sleep helps with your energy level, so let's talk about sleep. Getting enough sleep at night is essential for both reducing fatigue and improving your overall health. Now, the guidelines suggest getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night, and for napping, studies suggest having around 30 to 90 minutes of nap, which is an hour and a half, can have brain benefits. But naps longer than that 90 minutes or an hour and a half can create problems with cognition and memory. Now, it can also disrupt your sleep later on at night, especially if your nap is in the evening. But again, you want to find that balance for yourself because not one thing will help with for everyone. So something might help you, but it may not work out for someone else. So you always want to do that try and error with yourself and see what it works best for you. Now, I know that I'm telling you to sleep, but falling asleep can sometimes be difficult, especially if you have pain or if you're worried about something, it becomes hard to fall asleep. So does anyone have any strategies to sleep better? Are there any foods or drinks maybe that you take before you go to sleep that helps you want to share with us? Repeat a mantra or prayer. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yes. A bath. Yeah, chamomile. Yeah. Read a little. Yes. Soft music. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Good. Good. Thank you. So, these are the strategies that we came up with. Now, there are some foods that can help you fall asleep. So almonds are one of them. They're a source of melatonin, which is the sleep hormone, and magnesium, which is sleep enhancing mineral. There's also turkey, which has, well, tryptophan and protein, which tryptophan is a type of protein. They both help you, well, they both induce tiredness. They both help you get more tired before you want to go to sleep. Chamomile tea, as someone else mentioned, it contains a lot of antioxidants and it might promote sleepiness. And also, drinking it has been shown to improve overall sleep quality. But also, another thing that is very popular amongst a lot of people is drinking warm milk before going to bed Milk also has tryptophan and melatonin, and it may help you fall asleep better. So, other strategies could be, well, other than food and drinking, could be avoiding large meals, limiting caffeine late in the day, as we mentioned before, avoiding screen time, and having a bedtime routine could also help. So, someone also said bring boring audiobooks. Yes, that could also help you fall asleep for sure. Okay, good. Thank you so much, everyone, for having